Guys, I am happy to report that I was in fact wrong about Xenoblade Chronicles X. I have lived years of my life, after having played Xenoblade X on the Wii U, just kind of dismissing when people talked about X, saying that it was one of their favorite games, it was their favorite Xenoblade even, and I played it and I just thought it was okay, you know, it wasn't bad, but it certainly wasn't as great as any of the other Xenoblade games out at the time. And I've always heard these same people talk about how fantastic the exploration and the quests and the combat is. And I was like, okay, you know, I didn't interact with much of the side content. I didn't do very many quests at all. I've explored a little bit, but it wasn't that great because I wasn't really invested into the game and even the combat. It was a very glancetory view that I had on the game. But now that I've given it another shot with some quality of life improvements and just 100 hours of actually trying and actually playing the game, I was so wrong, guys. I was so wrong. This game is in fact more than okay. It is quite fantastic. That doesn't mean I think it's the best or that I think it is perfect. It is far from perfect, but oh my god, I have had so much fun playing this game over the past 2.5 to 3 weeks. It is insane. The combat is so much more satisfying than I remember it being. It is just I still vividly remember unlocking the overdrive ability and just trying to find the closest high-level enemy, which at the time was a monkey around level 48, I think, in Noctilum, and just trying to beat it. I fought it over and over and over with the overdrive ability. I don't remember if I actually beat it, but just the fact that I tried to beat that thing over and over and over and trying to get a true grasp of how overdrive worked and exploiting it in the right ways. It was just so much fun. I went to bed that night after having unlocked overdrive, literally being overdrived in real life. Like, my brain was not slowing down. I tried to go to sleep. I don't think I actually got much of it. And that brings me to another thing, and that is just the sheer amount of incredibly high quality side quests. Like I said before, people have always talked about how amazing the quests are in X, but I just always kind of dismissed it. Like, they're just side quests, you know? It's all about the main quest, and the main quest from my experience wasn't that impressive. But I was so wrong about that. The quests in this game completely carry the experience, to the point where I only play the main quest when I legitimately don't have any other quest to do, because I was just having so much fun doing the side quests, which is crazy because I'm not that type of gamer. Oh yeah, and just the gameplay loop. Just the fact that they added a quick cooldown is such a game changer. It makes everything so much smoother. They also give you another incentive to just go out, explore, and do quests with the energy clips that you obtain from getting a certain percentage of the map, of a certain part of the map, and it's all separated, and you get for New LA, and you get Noctilum, and you get Primoria. Everything just has its own set of things to keep track of, and it just, oh my, every time I get an energy clip, it's like an insane dose of dopamine that I inject directly into my bloodstream. It is so incredibly amazing. And on top of all of this, the fact that this game ran on the Wii U at all is completely insane to me in hindsight. Now that I'm seeing it on the Switch with a mostly solid 30 frames per second and a very, very solid resolution as well, man, I'm just like, I am over the moon. I am so glad that I didn't end up dismissing this re-release of the game, and I actually gave it another shot, because I was in a very awkward position before, where there was this, you know, Xenoblade has always been my favorite franchise ever since I played 2, for the first time in 2018. But X was always just sort of that game that was technically part of my favorite franchise, but I didn't really like it that much. And whenever people talked about it, I just kind of awkwardly stopped talking and just didn't say anything. But yeah, nowadays, I'm definitely one of those people that's gonna be, championing the game and telling people that they should give the game a chance and really interact with the game, like actually play the side quests and actually do a bunch of exploration, because it makes such a difference. It is the entire reason to play that game. And I now understand why there are people that only like Xenoblade X and they don't really like the other games. It's because it's so different. It gives something entirely separate that the other games don't really provide to the same extent that X does. And it's just, man, oh my god. If you haven't played this game, if you played it on the Wii U like I did and you didn't really like it that much, I implore you, please give it another chance. I've also made a video before, I'll link it in my description, of the right mindset to go into X with. And that has helped me tremendously. Actually going around and seeing what people liked about the game and actually really hearing them out and trying it out for myself, it just means the world to me. I have had genuine moments of surprise, betrayal, anguish, and laughter, just every possible emotion I've had, and it was all because of the exploration, and it was all because of what was missing in the main quest is definitely there in spades. It's just, I guess you could say, relegated to the side quests. I'm gonna list some negatives because I don't think the game is perfect. There's some things that did annoy me and that did start to bother me after a while of playing. These are all nitpicks. By no means are these deal breakers or anything like that. Yeah, the game is not perfect, and a lot of things started to stand out to me when I actually interacted with the game. And the first thing, and that's my biggest gripe with the game, is the de-aggro criteria. The way enemies do not let up in this game is excruciatingly annoying. And also, on top of that, the enemy density. There are too many enemies too closely linked to each other, or too close in proximity of each other. And it just makes it almost impossible to get out of a battle that you don't want to fight. Especially in caves. Bro, there's like, the entire Z-axis doesn't even matter, it feels like. You can go 4 floors down, and you're still aggroed onto the enemies that you aggroed in the first floor. They're still on the first floor, mind you. They're still on ground level. It's just, for some reason, they're still aggroed onto you. You can wait 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Doesn't matter. They will remain aggroed onto you, and it's the most annoying thing in the entire world. And the thing that makes it even worse, because this issue is also sort of present in the other Xenoblade games, but what you have in every other Xenoblade game that you don't have in X is climbable surfaces. And that's basically a superpower in terms of Xenoblade gameplay. It's kind of like a band-aid fix for the annoying aggro problem, to where if you just climb on any surface, any climbable surface, the aggro just drops. Every enemy that is aggroed onto you just stops. They're just like, okay, we don't care anymore. You're climbing now. You're good. Sorry, King. Yeah, but that's not in X, and that makes it so much more evident just how annoying the aggro criteria are in the Xenoblade games. And this is very easily fixable by just making it so that, in addition to being proximity based, where you are far away enough from an enemy that it de-aggroes you, just like put it in a timer. Make it so that if you don't interact with an enemy for 20 seconds, just end the combat. Because you can't fast travel, you can't look at quests while you're in combat. Or quote unquote in combat, because you're not actually in combat. Yeah, so I would very much like a quick fix, like in an update for that, and I think that's very possible. Another thing, this game is running on the Switch 1, and it's doing so tremendously well, but it is hampered by the draw distance. When you are driving around Innerscale, and you don't have the flight module yet, you can't fly yet, you're just driving around. Let's say you're driving around on the lake in Sylvalum, and you're trying to avoid enemies. But the problem is, the enemies pop up like very close to you. You can't really see them beforehand because of the pop-in. The draw distance is way too narrow. and you have no time to react to it, and you just aggro that enemy, and it just instantly kills you, and then your skell's gone, and you have to go back to the barracks and repair your skell, and it's really annoying. This is unfortunately not something I think that can be fixed in the original Switch version, but if there is an update on the Switch 2, I definitely think this will no longer be an issue. Another baffling decision in terms of game design for Xenoblade X is the fact that defense is essentially just like a useless stat. It might as well not exist, and you would notice very little difference. I don't know what compelled them to place such an emphasis on the elemental weaknesses and like resistances, especially combined with the fact that every piece of gear in this game, for some godforsaken reason, is all weak to gravity. And you're just like playing the game, you're having a great time, you're exploring, you're doing quests, you're fighting enemies, and at one point, one enemy is going to have an AoE gravity attack, and it's just going to party wipe. And you'll have no idea until you like do some deep dive on Google to find out why you keep dying instantly to this enemy, and it's because they're using a gravity attack. Why? Why did they do it this way? I don't understand. The elemental resistance thing in general, I think, is kind of tedious, to where you have to first fight an enemy, then figure out what type of attacks it uses, and then basically get wiped and re-equip all other sorts of resistances so that you can fight that specific enemy. And then after that encounter, you're gonna have to go back into the menu to get back your most optimal gear to do the rest of the game. I don't know, man. I think that I just kind of wish there was just one general defense stat that was, actually a defense stat. Another thing that I think is a little bit undercooked is the Frontier Nav. I think it has a bunch of quality of life features that are missing. There are certain quests that you need to prioritize credits over Moranium, or sometimes you have to prioritize Moranium over credits. And anytime you want to do that, you have to individually change every probe again. And I don't know, I just kind of wish there was sort of a set that would save and you could go back to at any time. As it stands, I just dread every time I have to actually redo the Frontier Nav. Also known as when I found a couple more probes that are like G10 mining or G6 research duplication or boosters, whatever. If I find like a number more of those, then I feel the need to update my Frontier Nav again. But at the same time, I really don't want to do it because it takes so much time. I don't know, I really feel like they should optimize that a little bit more and just give us a little bit more quality of life features to not make it such a pain to navigate and to keep track of. And another thing, as much as I love the amount of characters that there are in this game, and like playable characters, party members, they're kind of useless. It doesn't really matter which character you have in your party. It's just like the main character is so overpowered and so customizable. You might as well not have any party member, and you're not gonna notice a difference. And I think that's kind of a shame, really. And the last of my gripes that is sort of like understandable, but it still sometimes takes me out of it, is the amount of static cutscenes that just like give you control of the camera. Because at first I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. I can be my own director now. But after a while, I just found myself not really wanting to control the camera during cutscenes. They didn't really need to change any of it to make it higher quality or better animations or any of that. They were going for quantity. But was it really that much effort to just make a couple cuts in the camera and have some dynamic camera movement? I don't know, man. It just kind of feels un-Monolith Soft like the way they were lazy in those static cutscenes. Okay, that was a lot of negativity, but keep in mind, I want to reiterate here. These are like nitpicks. These are not things that are going to destroy the experience of playing this game. Absolutely not. Like I said before, I love this game. I am so happy that I gave this game another shot. I do think I'm gonna stream the new content, the new ending, and I think I'm gonna do so pretty soon, because I've been spoiled on a thing that I really it ruined my day. Let's just say it ruined my day when I saw this spoiler on a YouTube thumbnail, and I really want to eliminate the possibility of getting more spoilers. So I'm starting to ramp up the speed at which I play the game. I don't know for sure yet when it's gonna be, but I don't know. I'll probably just give a heads up on YouTube that I'm streaming. I might even try to figure out how to stream on YouTube and Twitch. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. There are not that many people that are going to care about this, but I still want to stream just in case someone wants to, you know, stop by and just say hello. And then afterwards I can make a highlights video of it, and it should be a good experience. I wouldn't say I have high hopes for the new ending, but I'm certainly very excitable about the prospect of a new ending to an already existing game, and seeing if they potentially do, you know, make some more connections with the base game, or the number trilogy, which would be really exciting. And yeah, okay, I'm gonna stop yapping now. I've taken up enough of your time. Play this game if you haven't already. If you have played the game already, let me know how much you love it, as much as I do. Okay, see you guys another time. Bye bye.